You traveled across 26 countries in Africa and saw the devastating impact of landfills on people and the clothes that we think that we're donating, where they end up. So how can we in our everyday lives be more active about sustainable fashion?
So buy less, buy
Mhm.
better quality, and expand the life of your pieces.
Great.
With the rise of so with the rise of fast fashion, so many people overconsume. You know, you
Hmm.
continue buying what's on trend and discard your pieces, right? Or you think you're donating and it's going to people who actually need it. But most places in Africa where the people buy these bales, you don't know what you're getting until you open the bills, and you open the bills and more than 40% of it is not usable. So these clothing end up in the landfills, and it's important for us to to be mindful to buy clothing that's that complements us, that brings us joy, definitely evokes joy, that we want to keep it, instead of having pieces that you just discard. So I want you to be a bit more mindful about that and how it's impacting the life of people on in other continents, because it wasn't produced there, but it's being sent to landfills in other countries. So yes.
And when you say a bale, do you mean like a kind of like a bundle, a huge bundle of stuff that's wrapped up? Is that what you mean by bale?
Absolutely. So a lot of the clothing waste, or the
Hmm.
secondhand clothes get put into bales, and so just clothing stacked on top of each other, and then bound it
Yeah.
together. And so these are shipped to to countries in Africa, South America, some places in India, and not until these vendors receive those pieces, those bales, and open those bales, they then see the quality of what was shipped. And a majority of it, more than 40% of it, end up in the landfill because it's not clothes that's usable. So again, we're thinking we're doing good by continue discarding and buying new pieces,
Mm.
but it's definitely impacting the people who are living there, because it pollutes the environment, and goes end up in the sea, and in the landfills around in these countries.
And can any of this stuff be recycled? Or like I think you've mentioned it's all of your clothes are made with silk and cotton and natural fibers and have a long life. But is it possible to recycle any of these donated clothes that go into these landfills?
A very small percentage of clothing gets recycled. There are machinery that you can use to turn fabric back into base cloth, but less than 1% of clothing is being processed that way. We just don't have the capacity for it, and or the equipment in lots of these countries. So again, if you're buying less or expanding the pieces, or you having swap parties with your friends or people
Hmm.
who could actually use it, instead of donating until even a lot of these larger charities end up selling these clothing, and it end up in the landfill. So it's important for us to buy things that we love, that truly evokes joy, and you want to wear
Mm.
it over and over again, but also where you can expand it if your size fluctuate. That's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about producing pieces with extra seam allowance and having adjustable elastic. It's not just kids whose size fluctuate, like a lot of adults, where the hormonal changes, your size fluctuate a lot. So that's why one item for us, you can expand up to the next size. So this is important for us, to be able to divert waste from the landfill, and especially the landfills of Africa. I'm really passionate about doing something about that.
As we all are now, more passionate about having spoken to you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And how can we find out more about your brand and your upcoming collections and your purpose and your passion? Where can we just find out more about this incredible work that you're doing?
Uh, yes, you can find us at .com on our website, and on Instagram, and also on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.